And welcome back to the Sesquicentennial Small Talk Olympics presented by Four Loko.
Neil Young.
His music, did you hear?
I did.
Canceled. That's interesting. You smoke weed?
No.
I have some good shit.
Oh, that was fucking pathetic.
Where we will determine who is the best small talker at all of Barstool Sports. The rules are pretty simple. Best small talker wins, and we're already one competition deep. And if we look at the medals, it's Nick with 1 bronze, Doug's with 1 silver, and Eddie, the odds-on favorite, already has a gold. Now our next competition, a little bit of a tricky one. It's how do you talk to someone's aunt? Miss Content Kim will be acting somewhat as our control group. As always, our competitors will be judged on 3 different categories, rubrics throughout the competition by our very competent judges. But let's stop talking ourselves and let's let these competitors get into it. The Small Talk Olympics, presented by Four Loko. The way the competition will work is this. The competitor will spin the wheel and he will land on one of these 6 topics, whether it be politics, the weather, back in the day, new music, a loco topic, or Uncle Bob's ex-wife ruining Christmas that one time. Who knows what they'll talk about, but each one will be more difficult than the last, and the onus is on them to have beautiful small talk spilling from their lips. Eddie, do you feel ready?
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
Spin that wheel, brother. The old standby, the weather. 30 seconds on the clock. Small talk.
All right, so Kim, you're from Oklahoma?
Uh-huh.
What's like your favorite month of weather?
June.
June? Why is that? Because it's like not too hot, it's not too cold. That's like the perfect medium?
Just the perfect medium.
And what's like the rain situation like?
The rain situation is just, close your eyes and wait a second, it'll change.
And then obviously you like the Sooners?
I love the Sooners.
So what's like in the fall? Does it get super hot? Like, do you have to wait till like November for the perfect temperature? What's that like?
Have you been there?
No, I've never been.
Oh, yeah, that's true. You have to wait.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a good guess. Oh, yeah, I guess. No.
And time. Large, what did you see in there? It seemed like Eddie maybe had a couple nerves and turned it into a pop quiz.
I'm going the other way. I think he got cocky. I'd rather shit my hands and clap than listen to that again. I'm sorry, maybe I'm being a little bit too draconian. I should save it for Tommy. But I think Eddie shit the bed on that one.
Large, I'd argue you were not draconian enough. That was fucking pathetic, Eddie. I think you rested on your laurels there. You got complacent with your gold medal. That was like, my ears were bleeding. First of all, the difficulty non-existent. Why didn't you ask her about tornadoes? Ask, have you ever had a loved one die in a tornado? That's a sensitive topic. Dive right into that. 4.8. Execution, is this small talk or is this fucking 20 questions? Peppering her with questions. 5.2. Also, were you listening when she talked? You said, what's your favorite month? She said June. And then when she said November, you're like, oh, you like the weather there? You like the weather there? You fumbled through that one. You fumbled bad. 5.0 on artistry. That's a 15 total. It was one of the worst efforts I've seen today.
Miss Keeks.
Eddie, I am severely disappointed in that performance. I truly, truly am. Not your best work. I give you a 5 for difficulty, a 5.4 for execution, and a 6 for artistry, and that's being generous.
Nate.
Boy, yeah, Eddie, you didn't have your best performance, but I don't think you were as bad as my co-judges believe. But I liked your artistry, and I give you an 8.4 for that. I thought, yeah, I know. I thought that, like, if I was imagining you talking to my aunt, like, I would like you having that small talk with one of my aunts. I liked your artistry. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, a disappointing showing from Eddie right there. Luckily, he'll have several more competitions to prove his medal at the Small Talk Olympics presented by Four Loko. Let's get our next competitor in here. Our next competitor is the silver-tongued quick wit of Nick. We'll see which one he wants to talk about, but it's not up to him. It's up to that Four Loko wheel. So Nick, give it a spin. How is Nick gonna make small talk out of politics? I guess it's up to him. 30 seconds on the clock. Small talk.
Who'd you vote for?
Oh, I'm not gonna.
Why not? I feel like I know you. Kimberly, what's
Who'd
your
you
middle
vote
name?
for?
Diana? Diane, maybe?
Diane.
You look like a Diane. That's interesting. You smoke weed?
No.
I have some good shit.
Okay.
Would you be fine if it was, is it legal? Are you cool with that?
It's-
Is it legal in Oklahoma?
No, it's not. Oh, only if you have a medical condition.
Okay. Do you have any medical
I have
conditions?
none.
None? Clean
Besides
slate?
my
at home?
finger.
What did you do? What did you do to your finger?
I had a joint fused. This
what?
one, my joint was fused.
Whoa. No, let's get back to politics though.
Time.
Obama.
I'll give you a 5.4 for difficulty, 6.1 for execution, and a 7.7 on artistry. That adds up to an 19.2.
Kelly.
I think that your disposition was excellent. I think that the conversation seemed very pleasant. I also think that we're not really thinking about how politics is a very difficult conversation. You broke the ice right away by throwing out that number one hard question. I think that you deserve a 7.3 in difficulty, an 8 in execution, and an 8.1 in artistry. I'm very, very pleased with your performance, Nick.
Wow.
Thank you, Kelly.
Fantastic scores from Kelly. Eric, what'd you see out there?
I think you thrived in the artistry. I think
Thank you.
the laughs you got, the timing that you brought to the table, I think Content Chem was on board with it from the get-go. Difficulty, I gave you a 6.8, kind of on the same realm. It is a difficult category, but I needed you to focus more on politics and less on her finger.
I won't apologize for being
I didn't
concerned
ask you
for
to
her injury.
apologize.
No, I'm just saying I'd do it again if I could.
Next up in the Four Loko Small Talk Olympics, fresh off of a silver medal, Doug's, if you're ready, give that thing a spin. And Doug's, we'll be talking about the weather. We have 30 seconds on the clock, so that means it's time for some small talk.
I'll just go whenever. Okay. Well, I'm brand new to New York, so I'm not used to this weather. Florida, born and raised all my life.
So it's good weather in Florida all the time.
Not all the time, but like when it rains, it rains from like 3:30 to 4. And so like really, you only have to worry about not being outside during that time. And then the steam comes off the pavement for like the next half hour, but other than that, you're golden.
So just a perfect year-round weather then? Besides a little bit of rain?
Yeah, well, there's an occasional hurricane, that come through. If it's like an F4, like maybe people will like leave their house to go to the Panhandle or something. But other than that,
And that's time. Wow.
Good job.
Interesting strategy by Doug's. He led off with a statement, not a question, but a statement, and kind of put the ball in Kim's court.
Right, made her work a little bit for it. I didn't like it.
I think that I just wasn't riveted. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to give a 4 for difficulty, a 5.1 for execution, and a 5 for artistry, totaling 14.1.
It seems like Eric might have had a different opinion.
Wow, harsh scores. Yeah, I enjoyed that more than I expected to. I would have liked a little more personality out of him. I give him a 7.5 for artistry.
Your artistry was drab. That's the only word I could possibly have. Drab artistry. I give you a 3.1 on artistry, but a 16.5 overall, which feels about right. It was that.
Whether one of the most ubiquitous small talk topics that you'll ever see in your life, Doug seems a little bit disappointed with himself, but we have more competitors to get to. Our next competitor had a tough go of it in the first round, but I think that she's ready to bounce back with a little girl talk, a little gal talk, something between the ladies, Large.
But which way will it go? Will it go the route of the mean girls? Will they get catty? Will they get, you know how broads get, will they get competitive? Or will they become friends? Will there be some respect, which Kim certainly deserves? We can only find out by starting the small talk.
Looks like we'll be talking about back in the day. 30 seconds are on the clock. When you're ready.
Okay, Auntie Kim, I have a question. So back in the day, you're a lot older than me. What was it like back then? Did you walk to school? Did you drive to school?
I just hitched a ride to school.
You just hit with a stranger?
Yeah, we just come up them out and go.
Oh my gosh, okay. And like, what else was it like? I know it was ancient, so. I'm just trying to figure out, did you skip school? Were you in school a lot?
Well, when it snowed, it was really hard to get there.
And where do you grow up? Oklahoma?
Oklahoma.
Okay, right.
And that's time. Interesting small talk right there. It seems like they were trying to catch a groove. I don't know if they did catch the groove. There were some words in there that were very poignant to me. One of them being a lot, in that you're a lot older than me. Is that good form in small talk?
I don't think it was purposeful, but I know when you start to get up there in years, you hear that stuff, and it
What's
hurts.
called back in the day?
And so I'm hoping that
That's why
Kim
I
wasn't
said-
hurt from this. I'm curious to see how the judges, particularly Nate, how they score this one.
I'd like to start in execution. I gave you a 1.2. I thought that was one of the worst executed small talks I've ever seen.
Nate, I thought we were buddies.
I think there's so many cool things you could have done with back in the day, and you chose to do a roast session instead. I think the idea of...
Kind of like this.
I thought the idea, please, the judge talking, of the roast was there, but I thought your execution fell flat. So all in all, terrible showing.
Thank
He's
you.
the Simon Cowell of our judging panel. Let's see what Miss Abdul has to say.
I just wanted to impress her.
Miss Abdul's a little, man, I feel bad about these scores, but I'm gonna have to read them out. I think
okay.
that, I know that you were pretending to be the aunt, so I thought maybe we'd get a little bit of family action in there, something good. That absolutely did not happen. It just didn't, and I feel bad about that, but you have a 3.1 for difficulty, a 5.1 for execution, and a 4.4 for artistry, totaling 12.6, which is the lowest score I have given so far. And I apologize for that.
Wow, I'm really just killing it.
My God, that was bad. Look, we'll start. I'll give you a little points for difficulty. 5.2. You know, it's a topic. You were bold. You said it's way back then, but that hurts your execution score. It was a little bit rude. Also, she gave you a layup. I hitchhiked to school. I wanted to hear hitchhiking stories. She
Yeah.
was hitchhiking with strangers. There has to be some gold in there. You pivoted to God knows what. It was so boring.
What
I
was
don't even
she
remember.
She was hitchhiking, but that would have been.
Yeah, exactly. 7.0 for artistry because you said Auntie Kim. I liked the Auntie Kim part. Overall, that adds up to a 13.4. Really, really bad.
Yeah,
Well-
no, wasn't my best.
The Small Talk Olympics, one of our most symmetrical competitors, Rudy, is stepping to the plate here. Lars, do you think that gives him an unfair advantage?
I didn't even listen to your question. I have a very big problem with the way that Rudy is right now. He's almost too comfortable. He's got a little bit of the spread going. He's almost like, and he kind of has this sexuality to him that's palpable.
Fluid.
Like I feel like I'm at a fucking bullfight.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's almost like a tab on Pornhub I will not click. So right away, I'm being a little bit protective of Miss Kim over there. So watch your ass and play clean.
Rudy, if you're ready, give that wheel a rip. Oh. Oh. The Four Loko wheel has spoken. Rudy will be talking about new music. If there's 30 seconds on the clock, you can talk.
So, Neil Young,
Neil Young.
his music, did you hear?
I did.
Canceled.
No, he went over to Sirius.
No, I think, well, he's off Spotify now. Did you hear about that?
I
with Joe
did
Rogan?
because he got mad.
He got mad.
But he got picked up by Sirius.
He did?
Yeah,
I did not know that.
right away. Just
Really? So they're just gonna play his music on loop on Sirius? What?
Yeah.
Are you a big Neil Young fan?
yeah,
Ish?
ish.
Who's your biggest?
I don't think he
music
has a good voice, but I kind of like his music.
fan? You don't like Neil Young's voice?
Not really. I mean, really, does it sound really good?
And that's time. Interesting strategy. Does Neil Young count as new music?
I think he did a very good job.
It was-
I don't want to like it, but I think he did a very
It was
good
very timely of Rudy, and he also used a brilliant small talk strategy,
Okay.
and that's repeating what she said back to her
Yes.
in the form of a question, just putting a question mark right on the end of there.
complimentary.
And that continues the conversation going in a positive direction where they can work together. I wonder how the judges felt, Tommy.
The difficulty, I'm going to dock you. Only a 3.6. You have a 7.7 on execution, and another high score on artistry is 7.9. Overall, that is going to add up to 15.7, 15.6, 18.6, 19.2.
Just the feeling that came from the conversation, Kim was very much engaged, and I commend you for that. A total of 21 flat.
Our good friend Eric might disagree.
You followed T with P, and it should have been a layup for you to blow her out of the water, and you could not have disappointed me more, Rudy. You had new music. It's right up your alley. You talk about Neil Young. That's not new. I feel like you have a lot of potential, and you toiled it away. Like, I don't think you brought your A game. I would say that was about your D- game, and you should have been better.
Another, mixed bag from these judges where there isn't necessarily a consensus on how Rudy did. I will say that he's proven that he's more than just a good-looking face.
Absolutely, I agree.
He's not that good looking.
If you're ready to spin that wheel, let's find out what you're going to be talking about at the Small Talk Olympics.
Come on, big money!
Loko. A delicate topic
Fuck yeah.
for Mr. Vibbs.
Tread lightly.
Back in the day, 30 seconds on the clock. It's on you.
Back in the day, people always like talking about going uphill both ways in the snow. It wasn't like that at all. It was 10 times worse. Have you ever heard of the 1920s?
Yes.
Oh my God, there was so much stuff going on in the 1920s. There was a depression. They banned alcohol. Could you imagine living life without alcohol?
No, I cannot.
What's your favorite drink?
Tequila.
Tequila? You couldn't drink it for 13 years.
That'd be
you couldn't have
awful.
any tequila. That's insane.
And that's time.
Artistry, I give you a 6.9. I like that you had history facts about the 1920s. Execution fell flat, but overall, not the worst performance I've ever seen.
I thought the performance wasn't so bad. I thought it was pretty good. I think that the conversation flowed well. Again, yes, I am a very jealous person. I don't love to see somebody hitting it off with another beautiful woman. However, I think that conversation went well. I think you flexed your knowledge a little bit. That's impressive. I think that the difficulty, you'll get a 7.1, execution 7.4, and artistry 7.2. The extra 0.2, again, is because you look great today.
I just don't love the direction you took with this topic. I would have preferred it to be a little bit more conversational, a little less monologue-y, but that's me. Overall, that adds up to a 17 flat.
Well, let's tally up the scores and let's find out who's going to be standing where on the medal stands at the Small Talk Olympics, presented by Four Loko. The numbers have been crunched and the medals have been shined. We are ready to give out our first, second, and third place for talking to someone's aunt. Who'd you really like out there today, Large?
You know, I think you can argue, these three guys are interchangeable. I think you can argue one was gold. I think you can do it. But I think we can all agree that Alyssa was probably one of the worst performances I've ever seen in this competition and beyond.
In the 125 plus years of this competition.
100 sesquicentennial. I think that Alyssa's TV Publicity's performance with the lovely Kim was probably the worst.
A lot of time to bounce back. Fabulous performance by Miss Kim herself, but it's time
100%.
for these competitors to approach the podium. So in a tightly contested second and third place competition, third place will be going to Vibbs with a score of 57.4. Vibbs, a bronze medal for thee. Humble man, beautiful conversation. Man, can that guy chit-chat. In second place, just 1 point ahead of him with a 58.4, Rudy. Silver-tongued, absolutely smooth talker the entire way. I'm surprised he didn't try to get a phone number while he was at it. But in first place, with a score, 5 full points, 6+ points, clearing the rest of the field. It's Nick Terraney himself. Climb on up there. That's a gold to go with that bronze. Not only is he winning this competition, but now he will be in the lead for the medal count of the entire Small Talk Olympics presented by Four Loko. And I know this entire Olympic season, I will be sucking down Four Lokos with reckless abandon in a responsible, healthy, and fantastic way. The only way I know how, Large.
All right, I hadn't tried this flavor, but I just did a little while ago, and it red, white, and blew me away.
Hey-ho! Fantastic stuff, Large, and fantastic stuff from our competitors. We got some more competitions to go here. The Small Talk Olympics, presented by Four Loko.